following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your blood.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
I recently got asked this great question and I wanted to answer it, and I think that this question and the answer is a really great interlude, in between these sections on this course. The section that we just finished on how your body impacts your mind and how to soothe your nervous system through your body, and this next upcoming section, which is all about how to change how you feel by changing how you think. So I got asked this question recently. I thought it was a great question. Right? Someone asked me, I think about and talk about my emotions all the time, but I still feel terrible. I still feel upset about the past. No matter how much I try to work through my emotions or my memories, they just keep coming back. I can't let go, and the more I think about them, the worse I feel. Now, people say that time heals, but if you ask someone with severe anxiety or PTSD, they'll tell you that it doesn't. Or if you ask someone with depression if thinking about their emotions or their thoughts helps, they'll often say that it just makes them feel worse. So here's the thing. Usually what's causing our mental block is that instead of processing through an emotion and coming out the other side, something that we're doing is leaving us cycling, going in a circle and constantly getting stuck. One definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So in this video, we're going to talk about what causes these mental and emotional blocks, as well as discuss some strategies to help you break through them. BetterHelp has sponsored this video, and they make it really easy to start therapy right away. BetterHelp is an online therapy provider that links you with a licensed therapist in your area. They make it easy for you to meet with a therapist from the comfort of your own home for as little as $65 a week. So check out the link in the description for 10% off your first month. So just doing more thinking doesn't help us resolve problems. It tends to reinforce a problem. Now, if this doesn't make sense, let me give you a couple of examples. So with anxiety, it's common to avoid the things that make you anxious. So if you're afraid of dogs and you avoid them, that sends a message to your brain that the only reason you survived those dogs is because you avoided them, which your brain takes as a signal to make your anxiety worse around dogs. The more you avoid something, the more anxiety you feel. Avoidance keeps you stuck in that fear response. So when you avoid something, you just start cycling, right? Let's do an example with depression. If every time you make a mistake, you then call yourself a failure, this label you give yourself prevents you from being able to learn from the experience and grow through it. And that leaves you feeling bad in most situations. And when you feel bad, you call yourself a failure, perpetuating that cycle. The more you respond by calling yourself a failure, the more depressed you feel, which leads you to call yourself a failure. How we respond to situations determines whether we move through them or whether we repeat them. Frank Sonberg said, lessons in life will be repeated until they're learned. Let me give you another example. So with PTSD, when painful thoughts come up from your past, you might get so overwhelmed by them that you panic. So That's a pretty bad experience. So then a lot of people do this thing where they do everything in their power to try not to think about those bad memories again. And that leaves you trapped in a cycle of avoidance. But avoidance makes your PTSD worse. Avoidance is directly linked to PTSD and panic attacks. So the more you avoid, the more you panic. And the more you panic, the more you think you need to avoid thinking about those memories or whatever it is. Now, these are just a few examples of how the more you do something, the worse you feel. Therapy would gently help the anxious person face their fears. It would help the depressed person change their negative self-talk. And it would help the person with PTSD to gradually face their trauma with a calm body. We have to examine our patterns.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason, hour number 2 on Monday. Tonight's topic, relationship chemo. You might be doing something like avoiding. Avoiding is a metaphorical match for relationship chemo. In the short term, avoiding something that is difficult, avoiding something that is painful. In the short term might be good. You might have a momentary sense of relief. Oh, wow, I've avoided that. But in the long term, you got to understand how chemotherapy works. It's going to eradicate everything. And just like she said in the clip, the more you avoid, it's attached to what? Depression. It's avoidance
anxiety,
creates anxiety. Oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason is on fire tonight. Let me bring in my folks. Y'all know who's in the building right now. Comedian, actor, director, thespian. Yes, my brother Rodney Perry.
What up, Zoe, man? First of all, this has been a crazy, fun show, man.
I'm glad you walked into the cigar lounge today,
I'm glad
brother.
I did,
Come
too.
on, man.
I did too. Yeah.
And then, of course, KBLA's own legendary, intellectual, first lady. Huh? Hey!
That was nice.
You like that, huh?
That was nice.
Spirit and clinician.
Okay.
Come on, Dr. Shalonda Crawford in the building. Dr. Sunshine.
Yeah, man.
So this is heavy tonight. Now, let me just dig a little deeper real quick, because you were saying something. Oh, what were we talking about? A little bit. I said we should dig down into that.
Reverse the hurt. Put your hurt to work.
Yes, put your hurt to work. And tonight's topic is talking about defining relationship chemo. And like chemotherapy, which aims to target and eradicate cancerous cells while potentially causing collateral damage to the healthy ones, relationship chemo comprises actions and thought patterns employed in response to past emotional wounds and relationship traumas. These actions and patterns may initially seem protective, shielding individuals from the perceived threats of vulnerability and further hurt. However, they can paradoxically create barriers to emotional intimacy, trust, and mutual healing, thereby thwarting the very growth and connection sought within the relationship. Examples of relationship chemo may include emotional distancing, avoidance of difficult conversation. There's avoidance again. Defensiveness, excessive self-reliance, and the repetition of the familiar. Maladaptive relationship patterns. These responses, rooted in self-preservation mechanisms, often stem from past hurts and betrayals, becoming ingrained as habitual ways of coaching. The term itself, I didn't coin it. Sarah Jackson coined it.
Indeed.
Relationship chemo. The term itself underscores the importance of self-awareness and the need for individuals within intimate relationships to recognize when their protective measures will inadvertently isolate them from their partners, just as chemotherapy necessitates careful monitoring and adjustment To minimize harm to healthy cells, individuals engaging in relationship chemo must actively examine their behaviors and thought processes, and by doing so, they can foster an environment where authentic healing, personal growth, and relational transformation can become possible. Did I explain relationship?
I think you broke it down.
Did I explain?
You got up in there.
Hey, we got callers on the line. Y'all want to talk to our folk? Let's get busy. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Sean from Oakland, California, get in here.
Hey, brother. Wow. You guys going for the powerful stuff. You know, here's my thing. You've all said some amazing and really truthful and insightful things. You know, here's my thing. You know, you've got to set clear limits in your life. You know, now when I was young, I didn't set any limits. I allowed everything into my life, and I just did that. But, you know, I'm a little bit older now, and at a certain point, you got to set clear limits. And let me tell you specifically, I don't allow discrimination. I don't allow anti-women, misogynistic stuff. I do not allow racist stuff. And as long as you pass those tests, as long as you pass those, I don't care if you go for the team I hate. I don't care if you go for the team, I'm not rooting for. We can all disagree on anything. You can disagree on political things as well. As long as you pass those simple limits, big-time limits, and I think those are big-time limits, you know, then you can just think that your team is better than mine. You can think whatever, your political team is better than mine, whatever. But you've got to have in your mind, I don't allow, you know, anti-women in my house. I don't allow racists in my house. I mean, that's how it has to go, especially, and I'll say it as a white guy, that's how it has to go with white people. You need to set a better example for white people to not allow racists in your barbecues on Sunday.
Well, thank you very much for that call. We appreciate it. Sean brought Oakland, California in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. The Voice of Reason is always on Fly Air, live from KBLA Talk 1580. Let's zip over to Houston, Texas. Jump into this national conversation. Attila?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Uncle Zoe?
Yes.
Dr. Sunshine,
Hey.
Mr. Perry, how are y'all?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, you know, in Texas, in a friendly state. We're chilling.
Y'all doing a lot of things that ain't chilling. It's hot down
She said Texas is the friendly state.
Right.
No, but it's hot, though.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
It is hot in Texas.
The people are friendly.
It's true.
Well said, well said.
Still some southern hospitality there.
So what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, sweetheart?
Well, I actually had a question. So I wanted to know, what do you guys recommend in terms of navigating reconciliation and forgiveness when you are still in the process of learning boundaries and stating them boldly?
Fire question.
When you are still in the process of learning boundaries and what?
In stating them, like standing firm on your boundaries.
Have you identified what your boundaries are?
Yes.
So okay, in short, I won't ask you what they are, but in short, here is my recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
You have identified them, right? You've made the decision to implement them. I think you now are in the position to do the work. You have to do the work to support your decision. The hardest thing is supporting the decision that you've made. We make decisions, but the hardest thing is to support our own decisions.
Till Uncle Rodney here. Here we go. So your question is how do you forgive? Did I say it right?
Well, yeah. So I'm wondering, how do you navigate forgiveness and reconciliation when maybe you've had trouble with boundaries in the past, but you've decided this is kind of where I want to stand in this situation?
My opinion is when you decide to forgive, just do that. Be comfortable with the idea of forgiving, and the other ideas that you brought into play won't be in play if you can clearly forgive and let it go.
No, this is big. Let me jump in here too. This is big, because this is a very powerful question,
and it's twofold.
And that's what I was about to say. It's a twofold question.
Okay, break it down.
And I'll tell you how. One side of the question is standing up for you. And the other side of the question is standing up for us. Because when you say reconciliation, you're saying, I want this. So if you want something, you still got to pour into what you want. So now you got to have two pours. And you need to be ready to commit to both pours, right? And like Shalonda said, you need to identify what the boundary is. So now you got two jobs.
But you can't control the other person. You can only control yourself.
Right. You can't control the other person. However, this is what I need from you.
Okay.
The boundary and the forgiveness is about you.
Come on.
Both.
Okay.
So you're setting boundaries are necessary in relationships and individually as people.
Whether you're reconciling or not.
You have to have the boundary there. And if it's a forgiveness issue, then you need the boundary in order to not step out of bounds again, because there's a reason why forgiveness is on the table.
But if you don't forgive, then everything is moot. If you never subscribe to the idea of forgiving, if there is no reconciliation, but if you don't forgive.
She's talking about in this case, we're talking about how do you reconcile and still maintain your boundary.
Exactly.
So in this case,
I'm saying don't strive to maintain the boundary. I'm saying you have to forgive.
No, Rodney. I have to talk to you like Odin spoke to Loki.
I'll be Loki.
No, Rodney. That's not going to work, Rodney.
I think it works perfectly.
No, Rodney.
Well, I think the mere fact that we're talking about forgiveness means that somewhere there was an offense. Somewhere there you offended me somewhere. You hurt me somewhere. Somehow we got to this issue of forgiveness. Indeed. So if you want to reconcile or restore, then I have to have boundaries so that we don't return here again. So in the process of restoration, I have to communicate to you, here's what I'm putting in place so we don't get back here. Do you agree? Because if you can't agree, then we probably can't restore. I can forgive you.
Well, y'all obviously agree
and
with
I will forgive you, but I won't restore.
Y'all agree with each other. I think in order to forgive, you have to simply forgive and not revisit that thing again.
Well, wait a minute.
Oh, that's tucking.
That's just what I'm saying.
I agree with part of what you said.
Part of it.
Because you do need, if you going to forgive,
you
got to commit.
It's a decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
But it's a twofold decision with regards to her question. Her question is, I want to do both. I want to reconcile and I want to forgive. That's a double commitment. When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue this flamethrower.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason from KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, if you're in the market for the best prices and the fastest delivery for custom-made roller shade, LA Custom Blinds is the place to be. Schedule a free estimate and they will come to your house, measure your windows, and bring a variety of fabrics to choose from. And then come back and install it all for free. The best part is that their factory is located right here in downtown Los Angeles, so they make the shades really fast. All you got to do is go to lacustomblinds.com and schedule your free in-home estimate right now. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you.
Hello, I'm Kate Levy. When I was just 10 years old, I lost my father, Joe, in the 9/11 attacks at the World Trade Center. He was a lieutenant in the New York City Fire Department. For 9/11 this year, now a National Day of Service, I'll be doing what my dad loved to do, helping others in need. Please join me by doing your own good deed that day. Visit 911day.org to learn more.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
This far for real. Now I see it all so clear. I'm holding back from you, just making me want you with me. And now we're getting all so close and wanting every day a little more of each other's touch. Yeah. What we waiting for? See, whenever I lie down to sleep, also swimming constantly, and I can't deny the love for you. I gotta go, my heart starts to feel the pain, wondering when will I see you again. I can't pretend I'm feeling like letting you love me, giving you my heart, show me all the love.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason and his playlist. We on fire tonight. Live from KBLA Talk 1580. You already know, in the heart of Leimert Park. Little Africa Town is on fire tonight. My brother Rodney Perry is in the building along with Dr. Shalonda Crawford, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine. We have a very heavy topic tonight.
Yeah.
People in the chat saying we in school. We not calling.
They busy.
No, they're saying the show is school. Right? So, I don't know. Hey, man, but this is heavy stuff. Let's get Attila back in here and get her final thought. Let's go, Attila.
All right, so my final thoughts. I'm honestly of the mind of what you and Dr. Sunshine are honestly saying.
Of course.
I'm feeling as though it's this, then this. That's kind of like where I'm at. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You can't give what you don't have. So you first have to acquire it for yourself. And then if you feel like it, listen, that's the key. If you feel like it, slowly parcel pieces out when you get it. If you feel like you have enough to share. If you don't, communicate that clearly. I don't have enough right now, but I'm storing it. And I'm still there, but I'm storing it. You know, sometimes you have to talk to your partner because they don't understand your process. They can understand it intellectually, but they can't understand it experientially. They're on the outside translating what you're telling them from their perspective. Say, how long this gonna take? You healing, right?
Ain't you healed yet?
What's the hold up?
I thought you forgave me.
I learned this the hard way. I'm sorry. But thank you, Attila. You brought Houston, Texas in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building to join this national conversation, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. Theo from Charleston, South Carolina. The brother answered the call. Get up in here.
So I got to give you the experience on today initially. I'm going to try to run through this real fast. So, you know that little black book they have on TikTok, which is a shadow book? So I tried to take the book today to the beach and with my girlfriend and tried to, you know, like, hey, you want to look through this and, you know, try to walk through some of this. It got good for a little bit, but then it turned into like you were saying earlier, or the lady was saying earlier, the avoidance anxiety. And then we kind of just started veering off in different directions of distractions. And it just kind of got upset. It just, both of us just got upset. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, are we really working on this or are we not? Because it just at some point it felt like
it's just a spiritual exorcism in the presence of holy water. That's all that was.
Yeah. And that's the part that is super frustrating because it's like, I'm giving my all here. It's the do or do not theory of Star Wars. You know what I mean? There is no try.
Do or do not.
Do.
There is no
exactly.
try. Yes,
so there is no try. So it's like I feel like I'm giving my all at certain points, but I know what's lacking.
What did you want to achieve? What did you want to achieve from that?
That's good.
To be able to commune with someone, to be able to have an understanding, like to be able to create balance.
Let me just jump in real quick, Theo.
Okay.
You can't commune with somebody. I'm learning this. You can't really commune with somebody while they're communing with their pain. You just can't. They're in a relationship with that pain. They dancing with that pain. They sleep with that pain. They loving on that pain. They're attentive to the pain.
I'll go further. You don't have a choice.
You see what I'm saying? So when you come, it's like me and my wife, we dancing at the club, and you tap me on the shoulder and say, "Can I cut in?" No. This is what I'm learning right now.
And the deeper the cut, the more attention you give it. Here's an analogy for you.
Hold that analogy. Do you know what it is? Hold that analogy.
I do.
When we come forward, Theo is about to get cooked by Dr. Sunshine.
Not.
It's so hard to be afraid, and whenever I tell you I gotta go, my heart starts to feel the pain. And I wonder when will I need to see you again.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Sounds of bells tolling in New York as the nation marks the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. Solemn tributes were held in New York at the Pentagon and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, to honor the nearly 3,000 Americans killed in the attacks. Nearly 2,700 people are dead after a powerful earthquake caused widespread destruction in Morocco. Thousands were injured in Friday's quake, which was the strongest to hit the nation in more than a century. and the clock is winding down toward a possible strike against America's top automakers. The United Auto Workers Union is readying to go on strike on Friday if GM, Ford, and Stellantis don't meet demands on pay raises, pensions, and job protections. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the accident guys to speak with a real expert attorney for a free consultation.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Following the leader.
Oh my God!
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hi, this is LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to the 28th Annual Central Avenue Jazz Fest on September the 23rd from 11 to 7 p.m. For nearly 3 decades, the Central Avenue Jazz Festival has paid homage to the legendary Central Avenue and its influence on jazz history. Jazz, blues, and Latin jazz will be featured on 3 stages of music. Co-headlining are Hubert Laws with special guest Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. Parking is limited, so Metro and rideshare are recommended. Hubert Laws with special guests Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. For more information, visit CentralAveJazzFest.com. CentralAveJazzFest.com. See you on the 23rd.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. I know you've been hearing the promo over and over again about our event this Saturday, about contracts and how you can get in the contract pipeline. Just want to remind you, it is this Saturday. Space is limited. Here's Dion Rambo to tell you more about what you can expect this Saturday.
Yo, what's up? This is Rambo, and again, you know the 3 words, contracts, contracts, contracts. This Saturday, there's one place you have to go right now, KBLA1580.com. If you want to see us talk about contracts, talk about grants, you got Caltrans who made all this possible. I'm super excited. You guys all know Rambo's been in the community fighting for you. Now, we got Tavis fighting alongside. This is huge. KBLA1580.com this Saturday. See you guys.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab of Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA. Congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid. And we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
As we go a little something like this.
Hey, it is B. D.L. Hughley, and I am thrilled to be heard weekdays in my hometown on KBLA Talk 1580. So check out the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. We got a whole lot to talk about, let me tell you. That's on the real.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
So I got this two-timing chick who got her revenge from when I was on my two-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected, neglected my effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that been tearing us up. If things ain't picture perfect, is it really worth it? I have an idea, but I need to know for certain. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice, Sabrina.
It actually
That's hot right there.
makes me want to call.
I'd rather be kissing you, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason. You see, we on fire tonight. The voice of reason, we not playing one bit. Tonight's topic is a doozy. And I got my friends in here, to help us kind of flesh through this topic, man.
It's a lot.
It's a heavy topic, You don't know, when you're trying to protect yourself, that you might be hurting yourself. A lot of times you don't know. You don't know if your method of coping might be maladaptive to you and your partner, i.e. relationship chemo. You might not be aware of that. And this is why we have Dr. Shalonda Crawford to help you navigate the foolery. I mean,
the tomfoolery.
No, to help you navigate, healing yourself. Because a lot of times people think, I've heard people say, I'm healed. And I don't believe that's possible.
You're always actively healing.
You are always actively healing. Now, if somebody could, participate and say, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. They always say,
I'm alcoholic. I'm still alcoholic.
You in.
I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I ain't drinking 37 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm an alcoholic.
Any day you can slip on a bottle of Hennessy.
Like a banana peel.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I believe healing and hurt and wounds are like that as well. You can never say, I'm healed. You can say, I'm still in the process of understanding what healing is. Now, how do you convey that to your partner? how do you let your partner know, like, hey, man, this is ground zero where the buildings fell in my spirit?
I think that's a tricky thing to navigate because, communication is so complex. And I say that because the way I communicate with you is going to be different from the way I communicate with Rodney. It's going to be different from how I communicate with whomever, right? So I think how you go about it, I think before you have a tough ground zero conversation, there's some homework, some prerequisites that need to be completed. I need to make sure that I'm communicating to you, one, in a way that you can receive and understand, and two, in a way that doesn't turn around and further put me on a little further backwards in my healing journey. And on the defensive too, because most of us don't share because we're afraid of being further injured.
Ooh.
And not seen. We want to be seen. So I don't know if you'll be able to see the thing that I'm trying to communicate, and you may further injure me.
Well, let's help them a little bit. First off, the expectation that I should see as you see. I can't see it the way you see it.
No way.
You're living it.
Right.
So I can't see it. So don't have the expectation that I should see the wound, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, dissatisfaction. I can't see it the way you see it.
Which is why that's the work. When we say work, I'm working on my relationship, whether that be with yourself or someone else. You're working on coming up with the best way for me to express what I'm feeling, so in a way that you can understand and receive it. And a lot of times we have to work. Sometimes it means acknowledging the other person's pain.
How about that? What happens?
Now, I don't want to step and trigger you.
But what happens when healing is selfish? I know I'm connected to you, and I know this is hurting you, but this is my time because you did this to me.
Well, I think it's important because oftentimes, because we're all infallible people, chances are there will be times when my truth hurts. But I can still communicate with you with sensitivity because my truth is still my truth.
What if I think you don't deserve sensitivity?
Well, my question would be, do you deserve sensitivity?
Oh, no, this ain't about me. This is all my healing process.
It is.
You see the selfishness?
I understand, but if you don't get me to understand where you're coming from, then I don't get I don't reach my goal, my outcome, my objective.
Rodney Perry.
But maybe it's over.
There you go. and I'm with that. Sometimes it may be over.
Sometimes it's just over.
I'm going to agree with that.
Sometimes, we're working so hard to heal, and maybe this thing is done. Like, maybe you need to move on. Maybe you've learned all you could learn from this person, and it's time to go. It's time, and that's the hardest part sometimes. How many of us have stayed in a thing too long?
Yes.
Because we're still trying to make it work, still trying to do that one last thing that's gonna make it work again, like it was when it first started, and then we never achieved that.
It sounds really good and it sounds practical, but God is probably the greatest comedian of all time.
Oh, he got you.
And you can say it's over in your mind, but God probably has a different design for your spirit and that person.
Indeed.
Well, further, you can say it's over in your mind, but very rarely do your mind and your heart meet up at the same time.
So Rodney, you and your jokes can get out.
No, but that's not a joke. I mean,
real talk.
I mean, it's not a joke. I mean, I just think that sometimes we work too hard to salvage a thing that's done.
I'm going to agree with that, but I think it takes wisdom, and if we're going back to Atala, it takes boundaries that you can support. Because I've been in relationships in the past, especially in my 20s, where I felt like I love this person, but I know with my full mind they're not good for me. But I love them. Right. So separating my feelings from my facts is difficult. Those feelings get fickle and all in the way.
Right.
And what you said earlier, what's the reality is that you learn from that.
You do.
You learn from those moments.
And to your point,
right?
You enter the relationship knowing I can't let it get as far as I did the last time.
Now watch this. When it's real. When it's real. See, your point is for when it's not real.
Right.
Get up out of here.
When I'm with my person.
But let me say this. When it's real, only God can end it. See, a lot of people, I say this all the time, Rodney, you tell me how this resonates in your spirit.
Give it to me.
Most of us think spirituality, as it pertains to relationships and life in general, is not really real. It's not tangible. It's a bottom line how we are bottom liners in relationship.
Indeed.
I signed up for this. Did you give it to me? No. Next. Right? That's typically how we get down. Have you ever broken up with somebody that God said, no, this is not done? And you had to go back? Or you guys found yourself in the same place at the same time with the same connection? Do you understand what I'm saying? When it's real, only God can end it. There is a spiritual aspect to relationships and relating that most people are totally oblivious to. Now, when it's superficial, when it's basic, and there's no real substance to it, absolutely, get out of here. Get your things and move to the left.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't know if it's fair. I don't know if that idea is fair because
ain't no fairness.
Because the reason I say it's not fair because it can be real and still be over.
You think?
Absolutely.
I think a particular iteration of it could be
30
over.
years in and it just not be. This could be your last day.
You think so?
I know so.
I don't know. Right?
I've seen it.
You seen it?
Yeah, people break up at year 20 and 30 all the time.
Why?
They've
been toxic the whole time. I promise.
Is their relationship any less real than anything else?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're a Virgo. You physicalize spirituality. It's fine. It's okay. Theo, we're going to get to you when we come forward. Theo, stay with us, Charleston, South Carolina. And I know Dr. Shalonda has a response to what you talked about. Here we go.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
Hello, I'm Will Jimeno. I'm a retired Port Authority police detective and a 9/11 survivor. For 13 hours, I was buried under the rubble of the World Trade Center. I was rescued thanks to brave people who were willing to put their own lives on the line to save mine. For 9/11 this year, a National Day of Service, I'll be paying it forward by taking time to help others. Please join me by doing your own good deed that day. Visit 911day.org to learn more.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it. Together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I need a healing for my soul. So give me a healing for my soul. I need a healing for my soul. So give me a healing for my soul. Lord, I'm looking for a new life just for my soul. Just for my soul. And I'm tired of crying all night just for my soul. Just for my soul. Lord, I need thee, oh, I need thee to take away this pain and misery. 'Cause God, I just can't do this by myself. I need a help, Lord. I need a healing for my soul. Yeah, give me a healing for my soul.
The voice of reason. The one and only VOR is on fire every night. 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You already know how I get out. My playlist is my co-host, Kelly Price.
That's a hot song. Right?
You like that?
Indeed,
one?
indeed.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Kelly Price.
Yes.
Yeah, I am too, man. I love it. I love it. We on fire tonight. Tonight's topic is amazing. Let's get Theo from Charleston, South Carolina, back in the building to get his final thought and Dr. Shalanda's response to what he was asking. Can you re-ask the question, Theo?
I really can't, but I want to hear doctors. I want to hear the doctors' the response.
You really you can't, or you won't?
Because I was honestly I was listening to y'all in between, and it was like, Mr. Rodney, sir, you are coming from a place of hurt, sir. Let that old situation go, because ain't no such thing as running from one situation to the next. We're not doing that. I'm not a person that's going to jump from one thing to the next just because it looks good. It ain't going to happen.
Well, Mr. Theo, hold on, Mr.
Do.
Hold on. First of all, you went out, you took the girl out with the TikTok tricks, and you wanted her to act the way you want her to react, and then she didn't. That was the question, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And listen, we started with the book, and the book was hopefully going to be in a place of like, how do you feel about this? How do you, and vice versa. So it was just.
But it didn't work like that.
It didn't initially. It worked a little bit, but it didn't work all the way through.
So now you're gonna break up?
No, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not a runner. I don't even necessarily like relationship like that, though.
Hey,
you
should leave.
So you
but
did
I'm a
say
fighter. If I'm gonna fight for something, I'm gonna fight for something. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like if I'm gonna put
Go ahead, Doc.
if I'm gonna put work in, I'm gonna put work in.
Help this man, Doc.
So hold on, Theo. Let the doc respond to you real quick.
No, we were talking about
I feel
pain
it.
Yes.
and pain being
Yeah.
present, and I was just making the point that we are all dealing with pain, and when pain is present, you don't have a choice but to address it, even if it's small. And what I wanted to do was highlight an example. We've all had a paper cut. And when you have a paper cut, that's one of the smallest injuries you can get. But all of your attention is right there. So I say that to say that if we are dealing with issues and situations of pain, which we all are, you definitely need to address it.
Brother Theo, we appreciate the call. Thank you for bringing South Carolina in the Charleston.
Hey, also, Theo,
don't do it.
Tell Dr. Husband I said hi.
Dr. Husband. Hey, we got Cali Soul from Denver, Colorado. We are all over the country tonight. We love our callers who call in. Cali Soul, drop it on us. You got the last call of the night.
All right. Peace, family.
Hey.
Thanks for that.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for that nugget of a reminder that we are not healed, that we are constantly healing. Because I think sometimes as I hit like a milestone in my journey with healing, I'll forget that I'm not completely healed.
Right.
And then something else come up and a lesson comes up. And it's like, oh, no, we working through this again. So it's real refreshing to have that reminder that we are constantly healing. And if we're not healing anymore, then we're likely not going to be on this plane anymore. In regards to our grievances, some of us hold on to our grievances like Smeagol in Lord of the Rings, like, oh, my precious. And it's like, even if you did get the lesson, you don't want nobody to know that you got the lesson because your ego or whatever. So you're going to hold on to that grievance because it feels better, you think, to be able to hold something over somebody's head and say, you did this to me. And that's when the emotional hijacking shows up. It's like we use our pain for leverage to emotionally hijack later on.
That's heavy.
Great show, though, y'all.
Hey, we appreciate you, Cali Soul. Thank you so much for bringing Denver, Colorado in the building. Really quickly, Rodney Perry.
Indeed.
Where can they find you?
I'm easy to find Rodney Perry live on all social media, including YouTube. I'd love to see you other guys pop in on my podcast from time to time.
You
Rodney
got to
Perry,
have me, Rodney. I got to come on your show, man.
Consider it done.
It's done.
It's done.
All right.
It's done. And that's pretty much the easiest way to find me, though. Rodney Perry live on all social media.
And where are you performing next, sir?
Where am I next? I'm producing a show in Chicago called Creative Hustle. Season 1 is on Tubi. We're shooting season 2 right now, and it's called Creative Hustle. It's stand-up, it's sketches, it's live performance. It's all in one, and I wanted the EPs on it.
He's definitely a legend in comedy. Don't get it twisted. He goes all the way back to all of the television shows, BET, everywhere.
Yeah.
This guy has been doing it for a long
The boy
time.
won't quit.
Please continue to support Rodney Perry. Now, my friend, the doctor, my comrade, my sister, the doctor, Dr. Shalonda Crawford, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine.
Sunshine, baby.
You know where to find me. I'm right here on KBLA Talk 1580. 8 a.m. Pacific Coast Time. Pacific Standard Time. 8 a.m. on Sundays. Every Sunday morning, the Dr. Sunshine Show brings a little sunshine. Just a little sunshine.
She has an amazing show, man.
Thank you.
I love it.
My socials, Instagram is at the Dr. Sunshine. That page is for motivation and inspiration. And the Dr. Sunshine Show to stay abreast on what's going on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m.
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and I know absolutely nothing about what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute.
Nothing.
But I'm just saying, we start the conversation so you can finish it.
Indeed.
You know, this platform is designed to curate difficult conversations that many people avoid. And tonight's topic was one of those topics where, you know, healing is a highly personal thing. And sometimes it can become so personal that it can actually eradicate everything around, you know, your relationship. Everything gets hit. But we started it. You finish it. Up next, the fire shall continue. You already know, Jill Monroe, RSVP. It's on fire tonight, always. I'll see you tomorrow with another slapper.
Baby,